Ladies and gentlefish, it is your sweet Zionist prince back, Tal, the traveling clat, here from Israel. We're looking at a clip by the king himself, Charlie Kirk. Let's take a look.
I think that the determination of the Israeli capital should be something that should be settled in a Israeli-Palestinian bilateral negotiation for the creation of a Palestinian state, which is something that the Palestinian people should be able to have. They should be able to have freedom. They should.
So they do have freedom. What freedoms do the Palestinian people not have right now?
Well, I mean, currently.
Name one freedom.
Love that Candace Owens is on the stage right now. Absolutely love that.
Have you been to the West Bank?
Something they lack freedom of movement.
Sure they do. An Arab in the Palestinian Authority can travel to Israel, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, in and out with any sort of restriction. I've been to Judea and Samaria. I've been to Hebron. I've been to the Golan Heights. As a Christian, thankfully, I'm allowed in there. You know, all my Jewish tour guides and my IDF friends as Jews are not allowed in the West Bank. Why? So what freedom don't they have?
Well, you know.
No, I don't know. Can you name one freedom that the Palestinian people do not have?
I mean, look.
Or is that just a talking point with no evidence?
Look, sophistry aside for both of us, there's an imbalance here between between Israel and Palestine that the current Israeli government.
What imbalance? Can you build it out for me? Because you haven't been able to name a freedom they don't have. Did you know that the Israeli government gave up the Gaza Strip in pursuit of peace in 2006?
This one's rough.
It was immediately taken over.
This one is
10,000
rough.
Jewish settlers left the Gaza Strip in pursuit of peace in 2006, and it was immediately taken over by the terrorist group Hamas, which is one of the richest parts of Israel. Israel gave it up voluntarily because they thought it would give them peace, and the PA didn't give it to them. So what freedoms does the PA not have?
Look, I mean, honestly,
this is really important because you come up here and say Ilhan Omar said nothing wrong. You make a factless, totally absent of evidence statement. The Palestinian people don't have freedom.
This is rough.
Say one thing, please. Defend yourself. So,
look, I came out here not completely prepared.
well, because it doesn't exist. So here's the thing: the talking.
Charlie Kirk is just like, let me take advantage. Let me rip this guy a new one real quick. Here's the deal. Let's get serious. The pro-Palestinians are a bunch of dummies. They really are. They're very, very, very stupid people. And that includes the Arabs or the Palestinians amongst them. I've done the work like Charlie Kirk. I've been with my friend Corey Gilshuster through the West Bank, through Ramallah, through Nablus. I've been in Palestinian refugee camps. I've sat with terrorists and talked to them. They cannot articulate their points. They cannot articulate their history. It's a very, very small niche of Palestinians and Arabs who can actually articulate their points in a way that would make me say, you know what, let's have a conversation. But even those Arabs who can articulate those points, the history is so obscure of Arab indigeneity in this land. And I'm getting into the oppression of Palestinians, but Arab indigeneity into this land, Arab nativity in this land. It is so obscure. The sources are so obscure and so unclear that it's really hard to make anything more of a case that outright and clear and definitively that Arabs are the aggressors and the oppressors of this region rather than the oppressed. In every single framework where I've tried to find a way to make Palestinians truly the underdog in the argument, truly the oppressed in the argument, it has countered me. The facts have attacked me back in the face because you literally can't make the case. It doesn't really exist. The unfortunate situation the Palestinians are in today, which I don't agree with Charlie. They do have lack of movement in certain areas in the West Bank. It's not full lack of movement. They do have lack of movement in Gaza because Gaza is a shithole that they've created for themselves. It is definitely not a concentration camp or a genocide or a open-air prison like they make it seem because they have Lamborghinis and mansions, at least they did before October 7th when they destroyed that for themselves. But in any way you put it, any way you try to shape it, Palestinians are the aggressors in this region. They are the oppressors and the colonized, or the colonizers. Everybody else who lived under them for a while, and God bless we don't anymore when they were in control, was the oppressed, including the Jews and the Christians and anybody else who existed in this land. So I appreciate Charlie Kirk standing up for Israel in this clip. I think there's a little bit more nuance that could go. And obviously this guy's totally unprepared for this kind of conversation, which most of them really are. Like, I do debates like this. If you guys, by the way, want to check out my Patreon, patreon.com/atravelingclad. It's in the description. $5 a month. You get a bonus clip every single Monday of me debating people. You can't see it anywhere else on my content, on my Twitter, not on my YouTube, not on my Facebook, not on my Instagram. It doesn't show up. It's only on Patreon. It's exclusive on Patreon. The one thing I've learned from debating with a lot of these people is that they genuinely have no idea what they're talking about. Genuinely. They can't source facts. They can't source dates. They can't. And people like I, who have to get obsessed with the dates and the numbers and the facts, we were stripped from the freedom of the innocence of not knowing because of dumb people like the guy who came up to talk to Charlie Kirk here. I was stripped of the innocence of not knowing. I wish I didn't have to know and memorize all these freaking dates and stuff and these numbers, but I do because I have to be able to combat people like you with the truth.
Talking point is factless. The Palestinian Authority exists as a governance structure over now what is truly Judea and Samaria, which has always been Israel. Do you know where the word Palestine comes from? You probably don't.
Arabia Palestiniana,
No,
which was the
it's
Roman
Philistine.
province.
Arabia
It's Philistine,
Palestiniana.
which is a Roman.
I gotta hear that one again. Arabia Palestiniana is a chazak. Oh my god, I might have to make an Instagram video from this shit. Arabia Palestiniana is a chazak. I like that one a lot. I might start using that one. Where's the name Palestinian? Where does the name Plastilina come from? Where does the name Palestine come from? Well, it's actually Arabia Palestiniana. Where does the origins of the name Palestine, where does it come from? It's actually Arabia. Actually, where does the name Palestine come from? So actually, historically, if you go back, there was the epic empire of Arabia Palestine.
Structure over now what is truly Judea and Samaria, which has always been Israel. Do you know where the word Palestine comes from? You probably don't.
Arabia Palestiniana.
No.
Which
I love how he got like, look at my boy. I wish I had some fake glasses to put on. Look at my boy got ready. my boy like, my boy like, I got this one. All right, Chief, I know. Arabia Palestiniana. Charlie Kirk goes, what's the origins of the name Palestine? I know. Arabia Palestiniana. All right, I'm done jotching on him. Just funny.
Do you know where the word Palestine comes from? You probably don't.
Arabia Palestiniana,
No,
which was the
it's
Roman
Philistine.
province.
It's Philistine, which is an which is a Roman term, which only goes back about 1,400 years. Israel has always been the home of the Jews, dating back for 3,500 plus years. Israel is mentioned over 635 times in the Torah. Jerusalem has zero religious significance in the Quran at all to the Arab Muslim people, yet it's mentioned 637 times. Yet under Israeli control, the Arabs and the Muslims still get total and complete access to their holy sites. Yet where the Arabs control areas, the Jews are not allowed to visit there whatsoever. Why is it the Palestinian Authority pays the families of terrorists that kills Jews? They have a pay-for-slay policy. Thank God that President Trump just finally defunded it. I encourage you one thing. Don't believe the facts and the narrative that are just coming from the media, because you're just wrong here, and you obviously can't defend your position. Go and visit the West Bank yourself. You'll see the facts up and close, because you're incorrect.
You know, I may have been racist. I don't think that was Candace Owens. I'm realizing this is probably a recent clip. I mean, I don't know. I may be wrong. Listen, I'm sorry. That might have been racist on my end, and I fully acknowledge I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean it. But wow, considering I made a whole video about Candace Owens and she only answered me in DMs by saying LMAO, I don't really care that much. I don't think she's any friend of the Jewish people. But yeah, I really couldn't focus much on what Charlie Kirk said there at the end. I agree with everything he said, but just I'm still on Arabia Palestiniana. I might have to make a shirt with Arabia Palestiniana. Yeah. All right, let's watch it one more time just for good measure. just so we really get it on the. Just so we really get it in the brain, in the dome.
Do you know where the word Palestine comes from? You probably don't.
Arabia Palestiniana,
No,
which was the Roman
it's Philistine.
province.
I fucking love this video. It's maybe my favorite video from the conflict. This is my favorite fucking video. Arabia Palestiniana. coming for duty. What's your name, sir? Arabia Palestiniania. Here for duty. Reporting for duty. Sergeant, what's your name? Arabia Palestiniania. Drop and give me 50. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry. Thank you to all our military people, service people in the American military and in the IDF. I love you guys all. That was not a joke about you. Nothing but respect for you guys. Thank you for your service. God damn. The world's a crazy place, and I'm so glad that you guys are here with me to watch it burn, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know what we're doing on this channel anymore. I love you guys a long time, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, class. If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to support me, being PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining my Patreon community down below. Patreon is the best way to support my channel, and you'll get a bunch of cool perks depending on what tier you join. Another great way to support me is by buying my merchandise on thetravelingclat.com. I regularly drop new merch designs like this beautiful hat, or this amazing shirt, where you can support the channel and get something cool for yourself. I also have an amazing Discord community with people from all over the world. Thank you so much for your support.